Cheers, everybody. We are back for another edition of Bourbon on a Budget. We're glad to be with you guys again, and hopefully you're watching this and you can see Brendan do whatever the heck that was he was just doing.
Guitar solo?
It was, that's what you call it.
I almost opened the cap on the bottle, which would have been disastrous.
No cap, that would have been bad.
Oh, cap.
I don't get it.
Oh, Captain, my
I'm
captain.
shocked. TJ Pinger, Ben Cock, Brendan Sinone, back with you guys again, live on the Facebook, the YouTube,
Instagram.
and the Twitter. Not on Instagram. Hey, we say this every week, but if you're watching this on Twitter, you can't comment yet. StreamYard put out an update. It is coming. You'd be able to interact with us again. Ben's asking for us to go to different platforms because he's tired of not being able to get you guys.
I want to be able to comment and things.
But if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, or if you're on Twitter, go over to one of those other places so you can interact with us and watch this live. We definitely appreciate it. Brendan, Ben, how was you guys' weekend? How are you doing tonight? Like, what's going on?
Ooh, I'm doing good. I am doing good. This past weekend, spoiler, I picked up an awesome bottle. Not spoiler enough. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Great bottle pickup. So, yeah, it's been a pretty good weekend.
I picked up a bottle that was nowhere near as good as Ben's, but I did get to have some amazing fried shrimp in South Georgia, of all places. And then I got to cover a football team that's won 3 games in a row for the first time in like 5 years since I put on a tank top.
We appreciate your effort there. Brendan, what are we doing on tonight's show? Give us a little rundown. I usually do these rundowns, but I'm going to let you do it tonight.
Yeah,
well, there will be a pursuits in purchases, obviously, because there have been purchases that we all want to talk about that you guys want to brag on. This is the last of our October month shows, which RIP October and Halloween.
Halloween coming up.
Check out later this week's episode on Thursday with Blood Oath review. Gonna get weird. But today, TJ, we are going to start one of our favorite series, the little head-to-head action going on with King of the Hill. And future spoiler right now, it's going to be a King of the Hill of finished whiskeys.
So, that's right, baby. Finished fest.
I'm not even close to finished with this. I don't know.
That was a good one.
Joke was pretty bad. But at least we tried. What are we going up against with it? Week 1.
All right. So yeah, as a reminder, real quick as we get into it here, what do you want me to just tell them, or do we want to talk about King of the Hill rules? What should I do?
Let's talk about King of the Hill real quick. Explain the premise. Explain what our last 2 King of the Hills were. Explain when they went out. And just do a lot of explaining.
I'll explain a lot of things. I'll try to do as quickly as possible. Thank God I explain things for a living, but I'm much better on paper than I am spoken word, which is why I'm on multiple podcasts and video feeds. So King of the Hill is basically a way for us to take a bourbon, a rye, a whiskey that we like and really test it out against others in a similar weight class of a similar category. So we've done it with a bourbon. We did it with 1920. We did it with a rye. We did it with Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye. And we basically pit it against a varying level of, again, whiskeys in a similar category. So the Old Forester 1920 went against like the Baby 100 Old Forester, and it eventually lost in round 3, I believe it was, to Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye went, I believe, 4 rounds. Who did it lose to? Do you guys remember? Was it Michter's? No, it didn't make it to Michter's.
I think it only made it 3 rounds. Did it lose to Peerless?
No. Oh, God. Well, regardless, should have done research and remembered our own show for this. But as I was going to drink a bunch of bourbon, you forget things. It's a way to go ahead and judge different type of whiskeys head-to-head. We do it blind usually. For this one, though, we're going to be doing finishes. So we're going to go ahead and start this off with, and we'll have to be blind because the finishes are going to be so different, Midwinter's Night Dram from High West Distillery. And it's a beautiful bottle. Ben and I each got one. Shout out Decadence Joe. Say thank you, Decadence Joe. No, say thank you to Decadence Joe because he's gonna get a little butthurt over it. Don't tell him I said that.
He is though, if we're being honest.
He is, if we're being honest. Hi, Joe.
Who is?
So I I will share real quick my experience with High West Midwinter Night Dram, and we'll get into the specs on it, and then we'll get into the King of the Hill matchup for round 1, which is usually an easier one. I think this will be fairly easy. I tried this a couple years, maybe 3 years ago, and it was one that I've been wanting to look out for. I love the bottle. I love the idea of the finish with the portwood. I love the color of it. I tried it at a local bar here in Tallahassee. I was out with my wife. She got a Hemingway daiquiri, I believe it was. And I got a neat pour of this, and then I pursued it for quite a while. I got it on a Facebook group I'm part of, and then I saw another bottle again when I was in upstate New York, almost like in Canada, and I got that as well. And guys, I have to say, it is a top 5 whiskey for me to have in my collection. It's such a cool bottle. It's such a beautiful looking colored whiskey, and the taste is so unique and great with that port finish.
Yes,
I'm a big fan. I'm so happy I got a 3rd bottle to add to the collection, and TJ did not. Thanks, Joe. Once again.
My man literally has several, and I still couldn't get one.
It's a toughie.
You know what they say? Beggars can't be choosers. So I'm still trying to look up where that ended up losing. I will eventually find it, but it may take a little bit. But
not a big deal.
At this point, who cares? High West's Midwinter Nights Dram. Man. What is it? You guys want to talk about what it is or no?
Who did the specs? I didn't. I asked you guys to do it. So
I got it. Limited release. I know.
Boom. Hashtag prepared.
A limited release of High West Rendezvous Rye finished in French oak port barrels. But that's not enough. I want to give you guys more information on that. What is Rendezvous Rye? You guys remember? Okay. We talked about it before. We did High West Distillery lineup. Ben, do you remember?
Yes.
You don't. Yep. High West Rendezvous Rye is a blend of older straight rye whiskeys, ranging in ages from 4 to 9 years. It's a blend of straight rye whiskeys, 95% rye and a 5% rye barley malt. Sorry, instead of that second rye from MGP. The second one is an 80-20 rye/malted rye split from High West Distillery. So it is that blend, that Rendezvous Rye blend, aged on French oak port barrels. And they come up with their a-year release of a Midwinter Nights Dram. We are reviewing this year's, like Brendan said, Act 9, Scene 1.
Yes.
What's it going up against, Brendan?
Oh, what's it going up against? I'm so glad you asked, TJ. You ready for this? Keep it up with the Halloween theme. Bam! Yes. Straight edge. Be careful, because Sweeney Todd.
Super Halloween. Straight edge.
Sweeney Todd. So straight edge. TJ actually reviewed this once on our Tiki Talk a while ago.
That's what I think of when I think of Halloween. It's musicals, Broadway musicals.
I mean, let's see, Nightmare Before Christmas, not a Broadway musical, but Sweeney Todd. Nightmare on Elm Street, the musical, is a great one. If you guys haven't seen it,
High School Musical, the musical.
Ooh, I have not.
Gotta love that one.
I have not seen that. So, Straight Edge is a bourbon finish in Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a red wine. I assume almost everyone here knows that, but as we do the King of the Hill, I want you to know what this is finished in. So it's a bourbon. It's by the Splinter Group. So Straight Edge is a blend of 5, 7, 8-year-old bourbon from Kentucky and Tennessee. The bourbon was finished in Napa Valley, so it's California finished, where it was aged in seasoned wine barrels. The barrels import, well, I don't want to go over the tasting notes. It's from Orin Swift Winery, the barrels that they're finished in, Mercury Head Cabernet. The mash bill is 70% corn, 17% rye, so a higher rye bourbon, 13% malted barley. MSRP about $45 to $50. Now here's the downside, fellas.
Yeah.
Proofed at 84. It's 42% alcohol.
Ooh, so
60% water is what you're telling me.
I need a good amount of water when I'm drinking whiskey, so I get it. Not really, but I feel like saying that.
The Midwinter Night Dram is 98.6, just like the temperature of blood. Again, Halloween theme. So there is a discernible difference. I thought it was closer to 90 when I picked this out, fellas. My bad. We're just gonna have to kind of roll with it here.
Goodness.
This is a 1 versus a 16. Which one? What are we getting into here?
I think Midwinter Night Dram won on the nose.
Oh, easily.
Like I could only nose the Midwinter Nights Dram and then taste the Straight Edge, and I'd pick nosing the Dram.
All right. So what are we getting on the nose for Midwinter Night Dram? What's
Heaven?
Yeah, it's like
Like
it's
a-
like
Yeah, I get, like,
sugary plums.
dark fruit. Yeah, plum is absolutely right.
Plum is there.
Ben mentioned it, so it's in my head. I don't know if I'm really getting this or not, but some chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
plum,
like a dark chocolate.
Dark
chocolate.
Not like white
graham
chocolate that
cracker.
Brendan likes, which is fake chocolate. That was
It's
also
just-
his nickname in college.
White chocolate.
But
Big
it's
white
very
chocolate.
to me it's like very very dense.
JT Henson says Ben is weak. So keep going.
Mom's weak.
Okay.
Mom's weak.
Whoa.
JT.
Yikes.
Cancel culture strikes again. Brown sugar notes on it too, which I usually don't get in a rye, but that port I think brings out like this nice rich sweetness.
What
Beautiful.
All right.
Notes.
So we love that
Amazing.
nose. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the straight edge nose, which is tough to go to after that. This is a
Okay.
water 16, like we mentioned.
Yep. And again, we're going with a rye that's finished in port against a bourbon that's finished in cab. So
Cab,
very different.
Which I would have thought that the bourbon finished in cabin a little sweeter and a little bit darker. Like if you look at the color on like this is the Midwinters.
Did we talk about an age difference?
There is a no age statement for either of these, I believe. But there's 5, 7, and 8 for the straight edge, so it's a mixture of those. So I don't know what the Midwinter Night Dram age is.
I get a lot of wood characteristics on the straight edge.
You do get a lot of wood.
I bet you. Oh wow, guys, that's a dick joke.
It's a lot of like
distiller. Brendan Coyle has got the same name as me.
Oh, I knew I didn't like him.
That's why you chose this. This thing is rigged.
No, it's the Midwinter Night Dram.
Oh, I get. Yeah, like it's to me it's a woody and a lot of vanilla. I get a lot of vanilla on the nose.
I am getting a little bit of. Throw out what Jake Hansen said real quick, because this doesn't feel like a fair comparison.
Bardstown Prisoner over straight edge.
Yeah, I mean that's like also like a 100.
That's like saying I'm better than Brendan.
difference.
Like it's not even like okay.
It's
Jake,
so well established.
If you would like to send us Bardstown Prisoner for the King of the Hill, we will gladly accept a sample and a half. Yeah.
I'll pick it up tomorrow.
So bourbon, let's just say rye obviously is going to be usually spicier, heavier, perhaps more herbally at times too. Bourbons are usually going to be corn heavy, sweeter, depending on the finish or the age in the mash bill. Sometimes fruity, sometimes sweet and desserty. The Cabernet, let's talk about the finishes. Port wine finish, what is going to be very dessert,
rich. It's going to be rich. It's going to be heavy, darker fruit,
very sweet.
Cabernet will offer something similar as well, probably less drastic notes, more down home plate, but berry and sweet is going to be similar too. So they're both wines. One's a dessert wine, one is not.
We're putting this straight edge up against an absolute mammoth of a competitor.
That's the problem here.
And this was actually a really good bourbon when I had it. I remember we had it while we had barbecue. It was perfect with barbecue.
Over the summer? Yeah, it's a perfect summer barbecue.
I can see this being very summery. Yeah, like a white grape kind of.
Ooh, there you go.
Ooh, shots fired here. If Ben would stop flaking on plans, he'd already have it.
Oh,
I'm not sure if that's referring. I'm not sure if that's referring to the wood or the bourbon that you were mentioning, but
the prisoner
or the prisoner's wood. But this is for something that's a little bit corny, like cheesy, straight edge, whatever. In California based, it's actually a really good bourbon. We're just putting it up against something that is very tough tonight, and so I don't want to diminish how good I think this actually is. But I was pretty favorable to it. Our review.
What you're saying?
No, I'm sorry. We're definitely voting this the other way. Well, let's talk about taste. Unless you had something, Brendan.
Real quick on the nose, I'm getting a little deeper than the wood that Ben is enjoying right now. I am getting berries. I'm getting a little bit of brown sugar. So I think that Cabernet Sauvignon finish with the berry element is doing what it's supposed to do. It's taking a low proof.
It's very good.
Oh, snap. That was a good one. That's solid. It's accomplishing its feat of taking mid-age bourbon at a low proof and making it somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
So credit to them for finishing this in a nice manner. On the taste, guys, I like the nose much better than I like the taste. The taste is kind of very bourbony. Again, it got a little bit of sweet berry to it, other than just the normal caramel, vanilla, wood, and brown sugar that shows up there. this would just be awesome if it was 50% alcohol. If it was 100 proof, that would be a game changer. It's not even 90. It's 80.
I would agree.
Yeah.
It drinks spicier than 82 proof. You know,
it makes me feel like
even it being finished,
solid.
It drinks spicier than that.
The guys who do this are more in the wine range. So
North California kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Interesting.
Let's taste the Midwinter Night Dram now.
Oh, I have, and it's amazing.
Oh, it is like the heaviest of heavy ryes. Like it's not as heavy as Decadence Joe's Decadence, but
DJ. Let's call him DJ from now on.
DJ.
We should have had Decadence in the Widow Jane Decadence in this.
We should have invited him on. He'd have given it 4 votes and won.
Yeah.
It's his favorite. We do know that. It's not even fair to have these two back to back.
It's like creamy and spicy. Man, the mouthfeel on this is like top notch.
It's thick. It's heavy. Man, we're really getting all.
It is thick and heavy. I'm just telling you, man. It's great.
Well, from the wood expert.
Yeah, you know me.
I will say that so what I love about the Midwinter Night Dram is, you guys know I'm not a huge rye fan, but like it has that rye spice and the herbaliness, but that port really kind of rounds it out and adds this element of sweetness to it, and that's why I love it. But going from this watery straight edge bourbon to that, like the rye notes are jumping out to me to where the finish is almost getting muted because of how thin the other one was in comparison.
I think that's what made this kind of a good one over the summer. It was super hot outside. The place we went was only outside anyway, but we sat outside. I had been at a baseball game all day. It was warm in Tallahassee.
And
eating barbecue. Eating barbecue, you're kind of cooling off with it's almost like a spritz, it's like a nice refreshing, but on a serious note, you are kind of having a nice lighter wine finished bourbon with barbecue. It fit very well. If you're at home in the middle of October or the end of October where we are now, although we are in Florida, it's not that cold, but and you want something a little bit. It rained all day here, so it kind of got a little bit cooler.
Tallahassee's about to have a cold front. It'll be like 70.
Dude, on Saturday we're having a little party on Saturday. You're not invited, sorry. But
I'll be in Clemson,
and that's why I didn't invite you. So, high is 72. It's really nice.
Can't wait.
Sweater weather.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, though. In contrast to straight edge, though, like midwinters, I would not want to drink this anywhere sunny. Like it needs to be the tundra.
Oh no,
freezing cold. I need to be wearing a jacket.
It is funny. Like to me, it's more like a nice crisp fallish than like this warming wintry one. But it is super like it is a sit outside and like
this is like very pumpkin pie after Thanksgiving dinner.
What about a nice little bonfire going on? You sit outside, it's nice and cool.
Oh, you should take this up to the cabin in North Carolina and open it up there, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Definitely gonna do that. For those of you that don't know, I had this bottle specifically reserved to be opened on Thanksgiving with my family.
Oh no, did we ruin it?
TJ was like, "Hey, bring that bottle over," and I was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, it's King of the Hill," and I was like,
the best part is he's probably going to win a couple more rounds.
I'm voting straight edge. We're going to shut this thing down right now.
All right, so we're voting. Are we at the voting part? Because I think this is pretty open and shut, guys.
Oh man, it's so good, man. Like the love. Okay, another point that I want to make here. I am always really anti letting your bourbons or ryes like air out. This one definitely benefits from it.
That's better.
But it changes. It changes from first pour to about like 15, 20 minutes later, but be there for all of it. Like just knows it for like 20 minutes. And that sounds really pretentious because it is.
It is excellent. I am
totally
absolutely going over to Ben's house after this and getting more. Like it is that good.
Pass.
Unlikely.
I'm interested in tasting other acts and scenes though. These are like, they have different releases. This is,
This has been trying to set up to have one of TJ's bottles.
Yeah, TJ, bring your other act and scene. I need to go try that one.
We just had it the other night. Like we just tried it on Saturday.
Ben forgot about that.
This is way better.
Bring it over and let's try them side by side.
There was an act apparently like 3-4 years ago that wasn't as good. That
Act
like people got,
six.
was that it? That people got like it was
like
notorious.
Batch 6 or whatever. Yeah.
People got mad at it. Yeah.
It was their first year that High West introduced their own distillate into the
so they ruined
into it. Not that they ruined it, it was just the first year. I mean,
it was different. Yeah.
You never good the first time.
Speak for yourself.
All right, so we're man.
Oh my god!
Just got decadent. All right, DJ.
Mr. Decadence himself.
We talked a ton of crap about Joe before he got
decadent
in here.
vibes
Sorry,
tonight. All right, so we all vote for High West Midwinter Night's Dram. I don't know that we have to do the actual vote, but that's a pretty easy one.
Yeah.
Sorry, 16. You know what? This is a 16 that like gave it a good like.
It was good in warm. It was good in warm-ups. Nah, it wasn't because the nose didn't win. Like the nose.
It's a great bench player.
They came out. They came out and hit a couple threes and made it interesting for the first 5 minutes.
We got to the under 4 timeout and it wasn't exciting at all. So
all right. Sorry, straight edge.
For the FSU fans that are watching, we're doing a basketball preview episode with Chris Nee tomorrow night from On the Bench. Check that out. Go check that out on doublefriesnoslaw.com.
Did he really commit
on the
to
bench?
That?
Oh yeah, On the Bench, Double Fries mashup. He is the 4th and final member from the On the Bench team to join the podcast, but it had to be a basketball.
The only way you could get him on was to entice him with basketball. There was no way in hell he was going to do it without basketball. That's hilarious.
Talks about football enough, but
dude, today he was telling me about all the work he had to do this week, and like, cause we're traveling up to Clemson together. We're driving up, first road trip for me of the year, and he was like, "All right, I got to do this, this, and this." He neglected to tell me that he was doing a podcast with you. I think he didn't want to.
I may not even do it. I think Richie's just going to do it because I don't know anything about basketball. I don't even know how to drive the boat on that. So
speaking of knowing nothing about basketball, I love bourbon so much.
Yeah, while we're talking about basketball, our viewership just went up by like 15 people. So maybe we should get back to that. That's
Chris Nee. It was a Chris Nee.
Chris Nee heard about it and he jumped in real quick, got the whole family around all on their iPads to watch. All right, so that wins. Do we want to talk about what Midwinter Night's Dram, Ben's episode? Do we want to talk about Ben's bottle? We want to talk about what it's going up against next week, or do we want to leave that as a surprise?
Ooh. Oh God, I forgot what it's going up against next week.
It's going up against something really good.
Something you guys do not want to miss. I don't want to tease this too much.
It.
It's going up against what we got Brendan for his birthday. What he got himself from birthday.
Oh, that's right.
Sagamore Cognac finish. Is what we'll be going up against with this.
Wanted to see what a rye with a slightly different finish and similar proof would do. This is going to be more of a fair fight.
It will, for sure.
Yeah.
It'll lose, but it'll be more of a fair fight. Then we've got a few more exciting ones kind of coming down the pike, as the kids say these days. Okay, what do we have next? Wait, Ben and I hung out a little bit this week and did some tasting and stuff. Let's talk about that.
For the invite.
I told you to come.
You're never invited to anything. That's what she said. You're never invited to anything that I ever do again, ever. Ben, do you remember what we had this week?
Oh, do I remember? Oh, yes. So I have acquired and gotten rid of multiple wild turkey. Are we talking about pursuits and purchases?
Oh, I was going to talk about, we just got together on Saturday and had a little bit of, we had, okay, let's back up a little bit. On Saturday, we got together and we had some Midwinter Night's Dram.
Yeah, an earlier act.
The Act 7. Really, really good. After that, we had the
oh my gosh.
The High West American Prairie finished in the Banyuls.
Yes.
Really, really good. And then both of those really good. High West does a great job. We're both I don't know. If I had to put my top 5 distilleries out there, like High West and Old Forester would definitely be in there. Probably have to do Buffalo Trace because that's just what everyone does. I don't know. Turkey's probably, Wild Turkey's probably in there. And then I don't know what number 5 is. But
Maker's Mark sneaky in the conversation, guys.
Like that. Did Brendan just George Costanza beep?
Could be.
I didn't hear it.
Am I supposed to?
Could beep.
I did do a beep when you said let's back it up.
Believe it or not, Brendan.
Isn't at home. Funny? Please leave. What?
Nothing.
Leave a message.
I have no idea what's going on.
Seinfeld.
The one where Ben doesn't get the joke.
That's Friends.
That's Friends. We just.
I used the same joke twice in a row. Yeah, he wouldn't have got it though.
Screw you guys.
So
Anyway.
we had those. High West does a fantastic job. We really enjoyed it. I like that idea though. Top 5. That needs to be a. Kara just texted from the other room. Wow, Seinfeld Friends mashup joke again. Stop over listening. Tune in on Facebook and comment live. So that should be an episode. Our favorite 5 distilleries.
Bro, you got like 20 podcasts. Your poor wife. I feel really bad for her.
Should be all right. I made an amazing dinner tonight, so she really loved it.
And then we had. Thank you.
Okay.
This is the part of the story here.
So I hope he is watching live, but
I'm gonna tell the rest of this because you're taking too long. I walk inside and we had tried both those High West, and TJ was like, "Hey, I have this box of samples. Go and grab one." And I was like, "Okay, not a big deal." I'm going through the samples. He has some bangers, and I want to touch those. Some complete garbage.
Don't want to touch bangers.
Don't touch any of those. Right? But then there was this one labeled TC, 14-year MGP. Or TC single barrel.
Mythical. Yep.
Yeah.
14-year MGP.
Right.
Mythical store pick.
And I'm like, okay, don't know what this one is, but 14-year MGP, gonna be probably pretty good.
He didn't want to take any of my bangers, but he took a 14-year single barrel store pick.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be good. I wanted to follow. We're following up.
Banger.
We're following up Midwinters, right? And so we go out there, start drinking it, and we got 2 ounces. So TJ was like, "Hey, let's just finish this and call it a day." We're like, "Great." And so TJ looks at the label, and we're like, "What is this?" And we thought it was like Traverse City single barrel, like store pick, that was supposed to be at a higher proof and 14 years, but we couldn't determine it. But he saw the writing and was like, "Oh, that's what Elliot sent us." And so he's like, "Oh, I'll just text him." And
how did you know it was Elliot's handwriting?
Well, I just remembered opening that sample up from
Elliot.
Seemed like something that a
psychopath
would remember.
I sent him that Russell's 13. Then he sent me the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, the older one, and it had like a sample bottle in it. And I just remember that sample bottle being from him. And I don't know, when I've got like a 14-year pick of something, like I'm not typically opening that on myself. Like I want to save that, share it with somebody.
I'm glad Elliot was nice to you guys. He's dead to me.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on.
We're not done with the story.
2 chicken biscuits out of my hand and a cookie away from my wife this weekend.
We're not done with that story yet. So anyway, me and TJ
are drinking
this thing.
Chicken biscuit. Or did you?
So anyway, me and TJ are drinking this cat. We're like, "Oh, this is pretty good." Like, I wonder what this is. Like, we're just going at it. We're like, "Man, what in the world is this?"
Cat in the
glass. So TJ texted him, and Elliot pulled a whole entire Basil Hayden April Fool's switcheroo. It was Russell's 13.
It was the Russell's 13 that we had.
We're like, holy crap!
We didn't even rinse the glasses. We did not even rinse the.
We're just like, "Oh, I'll just have a sip of this." Dang it!
And he was just like, "Oh, that was just an old bottle. I was just throwing the Russells back to send you a sample of the Russells that you had given me." And I was like,
"What in the world?"
So then we tried to enjoy, after we'd already drank it at like 75% of the way down.
Thank you, Elliot. I really appreciate you sending us an old bottle that you didn't take the time to write what it was.
I stopped by his office a couple weeks ago at this point to drop off some samples for him. And he was like, "Oh, by the way," and he's like, "I think this is for you. It is a Russell's Reserve 13."
Did he label it Russell's 13?
It is RR 13.
Kill him. You should stop labeling any sample you give him. You should be like, there's no sample on it.
Chicken biscuits.
Oh, you got chicken biscuits this weekend?
It was a noon game.
What's wrong with chicken biscuits?
Nothing. Yeah. They gave us 2 chicken biscuits instead of 1 chicken sandwich and
double meat.
The issue is one.
He does.
I love meat. This side of me and this side of me, and just taking a bite out of both biscuits at
the same time.
So what were you upset about? You were upset that he gave you 2
I was given a mission this week. My wife tried a Chick-fil-A chocolate chip cookie for the first time a week ago, and she her mind was blown because they are really good for drive-through cookie. And what they do at FSU is they put them on the bottom of these catering boxes. So they have the chicken sandwich on top of the cookie.
To warm it up. Yeah.
Really freaking good.
Solid play.
So she was like, "Can you bring that home for me?" The issue is I want to eat the cookie myself, and I'm there for like 6 hours. So food is kind of scarce.
No.
Well, no, because I'm dutiful
and loving.
Well, so one of the writers was not there, and I asked him, I'm like, hey, man, you're not here. Can I have your chicken sandwiches or your chicken biscuits? He told me yes. And then a few minutes later, and you can hear this all on the bench, too, because it was a major source of contention. Elliot walked by. He's like, hey, where is this guy's box? I'm like, oh, he's not here. No, I said nothing. Because I'm awful. And Chris Neeg, who will be on TJ's other podcast, is getting very convoluted and very incestuous very quickly. It's like, Sonone took it.
Yes. Get called out.
And Elliott's like, dude, and he's like, give it to me. We'll give it to other people since this guy isn't here. So I lost the chicken biscuit.
Now, he didn't steal it from you.
Yes, he did. Matt told me I could have his.
Baker?
It's called being a host.
Marshall. I mean,
who did Elliot give it to? That's who I really want to. I want to interview
I don't know.
that person.
I think we'd all.
They can come on tomorrow's show.
Have you ever gone to a wedding? Have you ever gone to a wedding, Brendan, and be like, "Oh, my wife couldn't come, but I can have both meals. Can I have a salmon and the
I'll
steak?
take the steak and the salmon.
And the salmon."
Made it. I got the last laugh. I didn't get the chicken biscuits, but I went to other people's boxes later and stole chocolate chip cookies.
Okay. What could have easily happened is you just drive home and you stop at Chick-fil-A and get her one.
There's 17 of them in Tallahassee too.
Dude, I would have had Chris said the same thing, and I would have to wait in line when they were just going to be wasted. No. How am I wrong for this? I don't understand what's happening.
You're a thief.
Anyway, back to bourbon. I love bourbon so much.
So, all right.
Remember when this used to be a bourbon podcast?
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't. We had the Russell's 13. It was fantastic. What little bit we knew of it.
So we could tell.
And then, Ben, take us into pursuits and purchases and talk to us about what else we've had.
Oh, my gosh. So, like I was saying, we have acquired and gotten rid of, via Elliot, a couple nice wild turkey products. And so when this started hitting the shelves, as I slowly hold up my Wild Turkey Master's Keep 1, I knew that if I got my hands on one, I really needed to keep it and not sell it. So one came in. I got in touch with my Total Wine and talked to somebody. They said, call, it says call Total Wine in Tampa. They have some. And I called them.
Don't be telling.
Don't tell people. Also, did you be like, hey, Brendan would like one too? And
hold on. I'll get to the end of the story.
Okay.
And so I was like, hey, man, I heard you guys have one. And they're like, who told you that? And I said, it's other store. Like, who at that other store? And I was like, sounds like someone's getting in trouble, so I have no idea. He's like, fair enough. So anyway, they hooked us up with the bottle, and I opened it immediately, and it is arguably the sexiest bottle I own. It is good looking.
The Master's Keep series that Wild Turkey does.
Check that bottle out, man.
Awesome. It's
engraved.
It's a nice heavy
freaking turkey.
Pick up the cap. Take the cap and try to do.
Thank you. The cap is amazing. The cap is sandwich brass with wood in the middle. Super heavy. Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
It's the first time that Wild Turkey's in a toasted finish on their Master's Collection. 101 proof, aged between 9 and 14 years. Finished for days. Days and days.
This is going to be difficult. Like, I had to make the decision. I don't know if you guys think I made the right one or not. So I got the 17-year-old bottle and bond one. That was last year's, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. I will share that with you guys coming up in November, because I believe that's going to be turkey month for us.
Turkey.
It is incredible. I love it. I drink it on Thanksgiving, and that's about it because it's so freaking good. I got it shipped to me to save about $20 on shipping. I said no to the box. Do you think I made the right decision?
No. The box is great, man.
I'll go the other way.
What am I going to do with it? Yeah, I mean, I'm eventually going to throw it away.
Right. I remember keeping my first couple EHC single barrel tubes, and then you finish the bottle and you're like, I'm throwing this tube away. Like, this is pointless.
So here's this is another point. This actually goes really well into the conversation that me and TJ were having. I think it's pretty commonplace for, like, whenever you're trying to find like expensive bottles, that like you and a buddy go in and split the cost of the bottle, right? Like, you'll like, hey, like, let's try to, like, you have half and I'll do half, and then you kind of split it. But the problem is both of you want the bottle so you can like whip it out, right? You know, no one really cares if you walk out with a water bottle or a decanter of some whiskey that supposedly is Master's Keep Wild Turkey 1. And so in my head, I think that when I start finishing these bottles, there's got to be a market for empty bottles because you're splitting stuff.
Wait,
I'm gonna start selling empty bottles.
Ben, do you have no idea what there's a market for empty bottles?
I'm making the market. The market exists because I thought of it.
No,
I'm
there
a genius.
is a market. I don't think you thought
because I just started it. The market is starting.
People will sell George T. Stagg, Pepe Van Winkle, highly allocated ones for like hundreds of dollars, just the bottles, so people can make counterfeits. So if that's something,
I'm not counterfeiting. No, I'm not counterfeiting it.
So
I'm saying
I will say
split a bottle. Yeah, that is so true. Are you kidding me?
Ben does have pure intentions on this. Like there are times where Ben and I will have split the cost of a bottle, whether that be secondary or whatever, and we end up saying like, man, who gets to keep the bottle, right? And we kind of go back and forth. Like he'll keep one, I'll keep one. He'll keep one, I'll keep one.
Have you never split a bottle, Brendan? Doesn't it suck to not have the bottle?
But if we had that extra bottle, it'd be cool to like pour it. So we both have a Jack Daniel's single barrel strength rye.
Mm-hmm.
We got another one, and so what we'll do with that third one is we'll pour it into both of our bottles, and we'll have an extra one. So anyone else that like wants one like can have it. So anyway, Ben does have nice intentions. Hey, what we did last night was we went over to Ben's house and played some card games, and while doing that Master's Keep, Ben whined about it all day, or all weekend, being a toasted finish.
I know. I wasn't a fan.
He was not excited about that, and he loves it. Ever since trying it, he has loved it.
But it tastes a little less toasted than everything else.
Than some other stuff, yeah.
Wild Turkey usually skews flavor profile like harsher in a lot of ways, like compared to other bourbons. So, so that with a toasted finish actually makes a ton of sense for that to play well. With
some card games last night, we tried this, and it was fantastic.
Wait, you combined all three?
No. We tried them independent of each other.
I bet you that'd be delicious. I'll say it'd be a delicious whiskey. All three.
It was a delicious tasting. We did not combine all three. I think that Michter's Toasted Barrel. We said the nose on the Toasted Barrel rye was better.
It's really good.
The Wild Turkey skews a little rye heavy at times, and so it just kind of worked well. Like both of these, the Master's Keep and the Michter's Rye were really, really good. The bourbon's good, but it's just very, very sweet and doesn't have any of those rye spices to kind of balance it out, is the right word, right? So anyway, really, really good tasting that we got to have.
Wild Turkey runs away with the finish, though. Like the finish is it just sits on you. It's great.
I love when something sits on me on the finish.
Also, if you're not watching this live, we tried Master's Keep 1, Michter's Toasted Barrel Rye, and Michter's Toasted Barrel Bourbon. So
thanks, Ben. It's not even like you're the professional podcast host of the group. Really good job.
He's professional as of like 10 months.
I'm glad that you guys live so close together and can just walk to each other's house and try these great bourbons. I'm here by myself with stupid straight edge.
Imagine if you could split a bottle and then you both have the bottle. Wouldn't that be great?
I would just sell it for money.
Pursuits and purchases. Ben's already kind of given his with that Master's Keep there.
Yes.
Brendan,
I'm out of money.
Go ahead.
Oh, I went to South Georgia this weekend. Got a little. TJ left us. That's good. That's great.
You keep talking. I mean, it was thrown to you. Brendan's like, TJ walks away. I stop.
Done. That is you know what? That's a very fair point. So I went to South Georgia, to Thomasville, did a little Jonas. If you know, it's amazing.
Joe Jonas?
They get their shrimp from like about 20 minutes from where you guys live. So, the ocean is what I'm trying to say. They do a good job getting their shrimp from the ocean. But while there in South Georgia, did a little bourbon hunting. I got myself 3 different bottles, 2 of which I'm excited about. One, I have a little buyer's remorse, but Joe Decadence has told me to not be worried about it. I got Early Times Bottle and Bond Bourbon, which I need to restock on. You guys are fools for not putting that on the big board. I'm with Joe totally. This big board is irrelevant without that on there. It's a damn travesty. 2, I got myself a little Henry McKenna Bottle and Bond at $45.
It's hit or miss for me.
The actual, like what the barrel is, because it's single barrel.
Yeah. I've had some. I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. I don't know. I think it's overplayed, but
It used. I mean, I swear when I started collecting, like
at
$30.
$45, it's 40,
I thought 45 is still fair. 10-year-old bottle and bond bourbon. Like
I've seen them like 60 in the stores. I'm like,
I saw another shop that I went to over the hunting that was
70.
65, and I was like, I'm glad I went in that order. Finally, I got the Rebel. I don't know if this is Rebel or if it was Rebel Yell still when they made it. But it's Rebel now because PC.
The Rebs.
Yeah. Probably for the best. Just the Rebs. It was their Distiller's Select at about like $40. We're talking about like 115 proof weeder from a solid company. So yeah, I feel like that was why I'm a little skeptical on, because I've heard things that are hit or miss depending on what the actual store pick is. But that was it. Nothing crazy. Not like you guys. I didn't get the great. I didn't get a banger like you guys did.
So I got a couple things. No, I wouldn't call either one of them a banger, but I got this from Decadence Joe. He gets more shout outs on this show than we give ourselves. But a Four Roses single barrel pick, an OESV pick, 10 years, 7 months. Excited for that. Love these Four Roses picks. I don't know why. I don't know what's so funny here. Oh, did we get a comment? Did Joe just comment?
No, it's Brendan can't breathe. Can't.
Not opposed to a sample.
We took a shot at this straight edge, and I have to say, maybe it's higher than 82 proof. It went down the wrong pipe.
I remember my first bourbon. And then I also got, out of the vault, I went and picked up the John J. Bowman single barrel. So that's a favorite of Elliot's. I don't know what's going to end up happening with that. I don't know if that'll end up with him or if I'll end up drinking that or what. We'll figure it out.
Seems like a better vault selection than Future Spoiler. Blood Oath.
Our review.
Blood Oath.
Let's get into what. Do you guys have anything else before we preview our review episode, or what do you guys want to do here?
Nope.
That's it.
All right. What are we reviewing, Brendan, on Thursday?
I put the bottle back already. I don't have it now that we record these out of order, but Blood Oath 6, pack number 6. It is a allocated bourbon from Lux Roach, the same people that do Rebel that we talked about just a minute ago. And it is finished in cognac, so it follows with our finish theme. It is the end of October, so we're celebrating Halloween a little bit early with the Blood Oath. And that's what we're going to review.
We should, on that review, we should talk about what our favorite candies are.
Let's do that. That's a great idea.
That's a good idea. Really on topic. I like it.
I like it. Let's spend 5 minutes on it.
We should talk college basketball as well.
Yeah.
All right. So, we already did that. Whoops.
No, we did it in this.
That's what I'm saying.
So
we'll do it.
All right, Costanza. Relax.
Well.
Tippy toe.
Yes.
No idea.
3 people got that joke, and it's gonna be hilarious to all 3 of them.
And you want to be my latex salesman. All right, cool. So go check out Thursday's review where we review Blood Oath Pack 6. Thank you guys for hanging out, those live and those dead. Just kidding.
Happy Halloween.
Watched or listened on replay. We appreciate the interaction on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of the above. And we appreciate the people that send us samples like Joe Decadence and Jake, who should send me samples because Ben doesn't show up and be a friend.
And Elliot, who is currently dead to me for the next 2 days, though. Him and Christine, both of you, dead.
You got the right labeled sample, though, so
you're back alive. You're alive, Elliot. You're alive. Yeah. All right. We will see you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers.